Hello, welcome to this course, Become a Stock Market Millionaire. Without further ado, I'll go to the introduction of this course so that you know what you're getting out of this course. First things first, you'll get an investment strategy that's very simple as just buying one stock that consistently gains throughout all the years. You don't need to monitor or handle anything as you're holding this stock for the long term. You just need to buy in consistently. It grows at a 6% to 12% per year consistently in the long term. So it also this 9% to 12% factors in all the recessions, the stock market crashes, and it still performs at this 9% to 12% per year. It wins over all other most of the investment market and mutual fund markets. I'll give you all the reasons as to why it wins over the other mutual funds and other investors. But next up is the disclaimer for this course for now. Okay, just how big is this market? How have the people fared? How have other people fared in this market? How can we take their examples? How can we learn from them? Okay, let's look at the richest investor that we have in the whole world, which is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest investors in the whole world, and on the top ranking of all the richest people in the world, he ranks third in terms of the wealthiest people alive. He made all his money entirely through investments. So you too can do it. His tactics and everything, I've learned them personally, and he has his own methods of investing, and I have also developed my methods of investing through learning from him. So you can too benefit from my understanding and my learnings. You can also do it too. When I first started out, I was pretty lost. I didn't know what to do. There was a lot of unknowns and stuff like that. But throughout the way, as I just studied a bit more, I realized that investing is something that is very easy to pick up. And it's very easy. It's very simple. And you only need several instruments. Sometimes you don't even need a lot of capital. You can just start off small and let it just simply compound. My course here touches on some of the tactics and some of the strategies that you can start off right away. You can start off with a small amount of money, let's say $1,000. You can just start off right now and accrue your wealth and compound your wealth. Okay, let's examine exactly capital wise how big is the stock market. Almost daily in one day, about $4 trillion exchanges hands in the market daily. $4 trillion. And Warren Buffett has only $40 billion, which means that in one day, the amount of money that goes in and out of the stock market is a few times more than the wealthiest person alive. One of the wealthiest person alive. So there is plenty of money to be made in this market, and you too can extract a healthy sum of money for yourself. You can gain many of the gains that you have heard, and you can earn it through studying my courses. I'll teach you how to do all these investments and be able to earn and compound your wealth as well. Okay, here's the disclaimer. Be advised that investments may go up and down as well as down for any reason, and past performance of a stock is no guarantee of future performance. This course makes no representation to the timeliness, accuracy, or suitability of any content on this course and cannot be held liable for any irregularity or any inaccuracy. Stock recommendations and comments on this course are solely those of analysts and experts quoted. They do not represent the opinions of the course on whether to buy, sell, or hold shares of any particular stocks. All investors are advised to conduct their own independent research before making an investment decision. Investors should consider the source and suitability of any investment advice for their needs. Your use of this course and its content is at your own risk. Links from this website to a third-party website are in no way an endorsement by this course of their contents or their suitability for any purpose. Okay, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's continue on with the course. First up, we'll understand what's a stock first. What is a stock? Because you're going to be buying into these things, but what are they? First thing to understand, stocks are actually parts of a company. They are on sale at the market. It's just simply the whole entire company. They divide it up into like 1,000 portions. And these 1,000 portions, each one is one stock. Each one is one share. And you can purchase it on the market. And based on the company's performance, or sometimes based on other factors, the value of the company may go up and down. Sometimes due to fluctuations, like there's a recession, it's sometimes sold at a very deep discount, like there's a big sale like that. Or sometimes it's sold at a very, very high price when the market thinks that is of a high value. There are many ways to value a company. Mainly there are two ways. One is fundamental analysis and the other is technical analysis. For this course, I won't be touching on fundamental analysis or technical analysis, but I'll be touching on a strategy that outperforms 98% of all the other people who use fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Okay, now this is the second video on understanding stocks. There are many ways in which you can participate in buying stocks. Some you may go through a broker, you may just purchase a stock, or you can participate through mutual funds or other professionally handled funds. Like there are some mutual funds provided by banks, some by insurance agents, all these various sources. But there are some caveats, some good points and some bad points. I'll be roughly covering all these in the next slide. Okay, here is one of the main things about this strategy that I'm going to teach you is 98% of investors will fail to outperform this strategy that I'm teaching you. There are also many other psychological reasons why many people fail to outperform the strategy, but I'll briefly cover the main reasons. Most of the mutual funds, historically, almost all the mutual funds, such as those that you get from banks, those that you get from insurance agents, 98% of all these funds do not outperform this strategy that I'm going to be teaching you in this course. This strategy outperforms almost 98% of these funds, even outperforms hedge funds, investment companies, whole investment companies. It outperforms them all. And main thing, the thing is, if it outperforms, why don't other people adopt this strategy? The reason is because mutual funds, they exist not because to buy into this stock or this strategy, but they are employed to pick stocks individually from the stock markets, and they are paid to go in and out of stocks actively, like going in once per day, every single day or every single week, going in and out, incurring commissions and costs. And in the stock market, if you are very active like those mutual funds and hedge funds, You will lose money over the long term due to commissions. Commissions is a big factor, and then as you are making investment decisions, when you go in and out of market, you'll make errors, and also due to fatigue of making decisions, fatigue of going in and out of market and all. And also, if you have your money in a mutual fund, the mutual fund manager can take up to 40% of all your profits, leaving a lot less for you. So this strategy I'm going to teach you will keep all the profits to yourself, almost everything to yourself, and you'll outperform the most of the market and most of the other people and mutual funds because they are active. While this strategy you are going to employ is the main advantage is that you're going to be inactive, you're going to save on commissions, and you're going to join the growth of many other companies, and it's very simple to do. Okay, this slide is the secret sauce that I'm going to cover. First, what's the secret? What's the secret stock that I'm saying that you should buy, or what you should be doing, and how simple it is? The secret sauce here is to buy this stock, VOO, ticker VOO, regularly. It can be buying in every single month, every single quarter. I recommend monthly or quarter, not yearly, monthly or quarterly, so that you can even out the gains and even out the downturns, so that you get very smooth and predictable gains. It outperforms almost 98% of all mutual funds, and it has been proven time again. All the statistics has proven it. If you flip through any single book which talks about mutual funds and other stock market, index funds mutual funds and other funds all fail to outperform index funds. Firstly, what is this VOO stock ticker? It buys into the S&P 500, which is a diversified holding of the top 500 companies in the US. This S&P 500, if there's any of the top 500 companies that's underperforming, is immediately kicked out, and a new stronger company is added in. Recently, like Facebook is just added in. Other stronger companies are also added in. Underperforming companies are all cut from this. That's why this one keeps all the winners in this portfolio and keeps the losers out. It's similar to how you would be buying stocks, but this one does it automatically for you. You don't need to do anything. They immediately eliminate those companies that are losing and bring in companies that are winning. All these companies that are winning in the S&P 500, almost all of them are international as well. They have an internet presence, they have presence in every single country, including China, including USA, including Vietnam, in many countries, including Singapore also, many countries, including the Europe states. It grows at 9 to 12% per year, factoring all the recessions and any other economic events. This 9 to 12%, it may be like, in a good year, it may gain like 30%, 40%, 50%. In a bad year, it may lose 20%, 30%. But when you factor in everything, the rough gain per year is 9 to 12%. It has been around for, this S&P 500 has been around for 145 years and still performs the same long term. In a long term view of 20 years, 10 years, 10 years to 20 years, it performs at 9 to 12%. So if you were to buy and hold it or buy in regularly, you'll be gaining this 9 to 12% compounded. Okay, how is it better still? This VOO, why I select this VOO stock out of so many other stocks? There are many other stocks that mirror the S&P 500 index fund, such as SPY, VOO, and many others like those that buy in the small cap or those that buy in the large companies of the S&P 500. But why I choose this VOO? The main reason is it has the lowest cost. This is one of the lowest cost stocks that buys into the index funds, and you only pay 0.05% of the profits to the fund manager. A bit of a disclaimer here, I'm not related to them that much, but I do buy into their stocks. So this 0.05%, it leaves a big chunk of the profits for you. So out of the 9 to 12% that you are getting most of it. You don't leave anything for the mutual fund managers or any other person. Next, let's carry on to the next one. Okay, first of all, I realized that at this point of time, some of you may be listening. 9 to 12%, is it possible? It's just one stock ticker. Is it realistic? First thing first, there's a lot of calculators. I'll reference you to a few calculators here. This calculator will show you the S&P 500 earnings throughout all the years, and how it has done better than all, and how it has done throughout all the years through the ups and downs. It's accessible at moneytrim/features/marketcagr.html. I'll provide a link in the course materials, an article perhaps. I highly recommend that you pause this video, go to the link, and just check out the website and play around with the calculator. When you play with the calculator, you have to notice the market crashes. Like in 2008, there was a crash. In the 2002, and etc. There are many crashes appearing every few years, every 10 years or so, every few years. Just take note of all of them, and take note also on the positive years. And this calculator, you can check the gains from which year to which year. You can check for a period of, let's say, 10 years or 20 years, and you can see how much you can get during the negative and positive years combined together. You see that this calculator comes up with 9 to 12%, within the range of 9 to 12% consistently if you test it out throughout the years. Hi, welcome. Okay, in this video I'll show you the S&P 500 calculator and how and also a rough gauge of how the market will go up and down, so you're better prepared so that you can do this investment. Okay, if you look at this S&P 500, you notice it has all the gains, like 2015 is 1.3%, 2014 is 13%, 2013 is 32, 15, 2%, and 2008 there's a negative 37%. If you look through the years, you notice that it's the same pattern, gains for quite a prolonged period, then after that a few years it will suffer. These are the stock market crashes. 2008 there was a stock market crash, and 2000 there was a stock market crash to 2020 2002. This keeps repeating throughout the years. So for this one, if you look at the gains, like ever since this fund started in 1971, the average annualized gain is 9.05%. So every year you're getting 9.05%. If you put $1 in, you'll get 0.2 million, 0.28 million, just from $1. And if you look at the more recent years, like a period of, let's say, 30 years, you get 11%. Bear in mind that this 11% is 11% per year on average, including the down crashes, including the ups. From this period of time, 1985, from this period of time of 1985 onwards, including all the crashes and all the gains, you have gotten annualized return of 11.06%. Your $1 will have grown to $25, 25 times your money, just by putting in this fund, and you'll get 25 times your money. This fund has been going on repeatedly for the past 141 years, up, with more ups than downs. That's why it gets the 11% plus. Yeah. So this fund is pretty stable, is pretty recommended, and is very diversified. It has 500 companies in it. Throughout the 145 years, there have been a lot of companies that have been kicked out because they were underperforming, and companies that were added in because they were performing very well. So they were added in, like Facebook was recently added in. So this calculator finds the annualized growth rate of the S&P 500 throughout the date range. I recommend that you use this calculator. I'll give you the URL to this website in the course materials. So you can come to this website. Just take note of this part that I magnified on the screen for you, and play around with the calculator. Get a rough gauge of how in the short term it does. The gains will be pretty low. Let's say 2005. Let's take a 10-year period. It's a 7%. But if you go for a long time, 85, it's 11%. And this fund has been going on for a long time. So you can even invest in this fund, and let your children even invest in this fund all the way. You just keep growing, because it has automatically kicking out bad companies and taking in new companies. And the criteria that is doing it has been successful for the past 145 years. So yep, this is the S&P 500 calculator. Highly recommend you come here, check it out, play around with it, get an understanding of all the ups and downs, get an understanding of what you're getting into, and so that you are better prepared, so that you can benefit from it. You can benefit and get the gains from this. Okay, so this is 11%. You take a longer period, 75. It's higher, 12%. This one is 12%, 11.96, 12%. It's like 12%. Okay, and your $1 will have grown to 100 times. Just the difference of 10 years, 100 times. That's how strong, and that's how much potential this investment has. Okay, I'll check with you in the next video, and yep. Thank you. Hi, hello, welcome again. Okay, now this lecture is about the compound interest, and this lecture I'll try to illustrate to you how the compound interest looks like in the growth, and how it looks like in the starting, and how it looks like at the end. So you have a rough gauge of how much you're getting, how will the growth occur, and etc. Okay, first up, this one is a compound interest calculator, just found online. I'll provide the link to it in the lecture materials. And you can see, you start with the current principal, current annual addition, how much you're gonna add every year, and how many years you're gonna let it grow, and the interest rate. Okay, I'm gonna assume that you're gonna be putting in like 500 every month. 500 in every month. So it's like roughly the first year you'll be, for 12 months, 500 every month for 12 months is about 6,000. Same thing with annual addition, 6,000. So if you have this to grow for like 10 years, and you have it at, let's say 11%, you'll grow to 128k, 128k just in 10 years. If you look at it further back, 5 years, you get 51k. Not very remarkable 5 years. But if you look at, let's say 15 years, 200. You look at it 20 years, 400, 475. You look at it 30 years, you have 1.4 million. 1.4 million. That's a lot. That's huge. This is huge. And the amount that you put in is way lesser. Is way lesser than what you're getting out here. So this is how really compound interest works. The previous lecture you got the compound interest, the annual rate that comes out from the S&P 500, which is about 11%, 9%, 11%, around there, 9%, 11%, 12%. So you just input it in and just play around with it. Get a rough feel of the timeline. Let's say you put it 40 years. Get 4 million out of it. 50 years. You can leave it for your children or any other family members. And it'll just grow by itself. As I covered, this fund, it automatically kicks out any company that's underperforming and brings in the strong ones. So you have the strong ones on your side. Okay, so this is a rough coverage of how this compound, they call it the 8th wonder of the universe, 8th wonder of the world. There are 7 wonders. This is the 8th wonder, which is compound interest, which grows money very exponentially, and you just need to put in some time into it, and it will just grow by itself. Okay, now I think that's all for this lecture. Bye. Talk to you next lecture. See you. Okay. Now that we know what is the stock ticker we are buying into this index fund, what is the strategy to do it? The strategy we're going to do it is we're going to be using dollar cost averaging to buy in this stock, VOO, monthly or quarterly. Quarterly if commissions are very high on your brokerage. Monthly is more preferable, but quarterly is still fine. This evens out the downturns and the upsides, so that you get a very smooth out 9% to 12% gain per year. You can try out this compound interest calculator. It's available at moneychim.calculator/compoundinterestcalculator.html. I'll provide a link in the course materials. So if you input in this calculator, based on 12% compounding, let's say you put in $500 a month. After 20 years, you'll get $500,000. 542,000 to be exact. And after 30 years, you'll get 1.8 million. All of this is without doing any work. You just simply buy into it and hold. Buy into it and hold, and it will just simply appreciate in value. Okay, I'll briefly cover on the psychological aspects, like some of the psychological hurdles, like what makes people not invest in this, what makes people want to do other things, and want to do other things like do trading on itself, but rather going into this is like it's profitable and it outperforms a lot of investors, a lot of traders also. There are two main psychological hurdles. One is this strategy seems to be too simple. Just buy into the stock ticker VOO monthly or quarterly. Just put in like 500 every single month or 1000 every single month. It seems too simple. The second thing is, if you are buying and holding, the fluctuations of the market may be too much to take for you. I'll cover these two main hurdles and cover how you can overcome these two hurdles. Firstly is, this strategy is too simple. Just buying into this stock, VOO monthly or quarterly, seems to be too simple. It's like, is there more to it? When we are employed in the workplace, we are used to like doing more complicated things. We are used to when we study in school, we are used to that. It has a lot of widgets, a lot of buttons to press, a lot of things to figure out. But it's like if I do more work, I can get more returns. But in the stock market, it's a totally different case. More activities will drain your money. The more that you invest, you go in and out of the market. If you like simply dance in and out of the market, the commission cost will cut into your profits. And when you go in and out, it will drain your energy as well. Or if you are thinking it's too simple, it cannot work. Remember that this is the top 500 companies. And if you check the VOO stock ticker, the historical of it, ever since it started, it has been gaining also at 9% to 12% per year. And if you are a competitive person, you'll be thinking, only sophisticated strategies work better than the competition. How can you outperform the other investors and stuff? Only sophisticated strategies can. But do remember that even though it's just a simple act of just buying the VOO monthly or quarterly, you are actually participating in the growth of the top 500 companies. And all these companies like McDonald's, when you buy at McDonald's and stuff like that, and any other stuff from the top 500 companies like insurance, you are actually giving money to these top 500 companies. And what you are doing is you are buying into these top 500 companies and participating in all their growth. So you also gain from it, gain from their growth as well. Second hurdle that you'll have to face is that the fluctuations of the market may be too much. The most important thing is try not to monitor it too much. When you look at the price going up and down every day, it can have a big psychological impact of you. The best way is to not look at it too much and let it just grow on autopilot. If you look at the VOO stock ticker, you understand that it's for the long term. Check the fact sheet. You can search on Google the VOO funds fact sheet, and you can get an understanding of all the long-term benefits. Like ever since its inception, it has gained like 9 to 10% per year. and it's pretty consistent. You have to think of the long term, not the short term where it goes down or up. Even if there is a market crash, it's only for the short term. The stock market will still, if you put in the VOO, will still go back up and eventually go even higher than it was before. You have to play with the calculator at moneytrim/features/moneymarket.cagr. Understand it completely. Look at the historical of this S&P 500 fund and understand it thoroughly. And think of it as a long-term asset that grows at 9 to 12% per year, compounding. Okay, we've come to the end of this course, and let's draw up some conclusions so that you know where to move on from here. I've given you a solution to earning $1 million without any hard work. You simply do this is to buy into VOO monthly or quarterly with a few hundred per month. Just monthly and quarterly. Wherever you have some spare, you just buy into VOO monthly and quarterly. You'll have a steady gain throughout the years. Also, I highly recommend that you play with the calculators to get an idea of the possible long-term gains and the crashes. Once you understand both of them, you don't have to fear any of them. You just simply stick to it for the long term. Okay, if you enjoyed this course, leave me a rating and it will help me improve this course a lot further for other people. If you have any questions, just post them in the Q&A. I'll gladly answer them, and it will also help other people. Thank you.